Ishradwala ila mancha nach féidir anam Habert chun cuimhne go himláin níor chonig duine de na daoine is le tíre sin I bhfad ó hin a choníonn lán I racha scia lethar arsa hach scránaí agus clúa le haig cuasála.
A midday stew with rather more shin of beef than leg of lamb, the leftovers for supper most nights, lardy eggs on Saturdays, lentil broth on Fridays, and an occasional pigeon as a Sunday treat, ate up 3/4 of his income. The rest went on a cape of black broadcloth with breeches of velvet and slippers to match for holy days, and on weekdays he walked proudly in the finest homespun. He maintained a housekeeper the wrong side of 40, a niece the right side of 20, and a jack of all trades who was as good at saddling the nag as at plying the pruning shears. Our Hidalgo himself was nearly 50. He had a robust constitution, dried of flesh, and a withered face, and he was an early riser and a keen huntsman. His surname said to have been Quijada or Quesada, as if he were a jawbone or a cheesecake. Concerning this detail, there is some discrepancy among the authors who have written on the subject, although a credible conjecture does suggest he might have been a plaintive Cuyana, but this doesn't matter much as far as our little tale is concerned, provided that the narrator doesn't stray 1 inch from the truth.
Now you must understand that during his idle moments, which accounted for most of the year, his Hidalgo took to reading books of chivalry with such relish and enthusiasm that he almost forgot about his hunting and even running his property, and his foolish curiosity reached such extremes that he sold acres of arable land to buy these books of chivalry, and took home as many of them as he could find. He liked none of them so much as those by famous Feliciano de Silvia, because the brilliance of the prose and all the intricate language seemed a treasure to him, never more so than when he was reading those amorous compliments and challenges delivered by letter, in which he found often. The reason for the unreason to which my reason is subjected so weakens my reason that I have reason to complain of your beauty. And also when he read, the lofty heavens which the stars divinely fortify you in your divinity, and makes you meretricious of the merits merited by your greatness. Such subtleties used to drive the poor gentleman to distraction, and he would rack his brains trying to understand it all and unravel its meaning, something that Aristotle himself wouldn't have been capable of doing even if he come back to life for this purpose alone. He wasn't very happy about the wounds that Sir Valenius kept on inflicting and receiving, because he imagined that, however skillful the doctors who treated him, his face and body must have been covered with gashes and scars.
But in spite of all that, he commanded the author for ending his book with that promise of endless adventure, and often felt the urge to take up his quill and bring this story to a proper conclusion, as if promised there, and no doubt he'd have done so, and with success too, if other more important and insistent preoccupations hadn't prevented him. He had frequent arguments with the village priest, a learned man, a Singwenza graduate no less, about which had been the better knight errant, Palmerin of England and Amidus of Gules. But Master Nicholas, the village barber, argued that neither of them could hold a candle to the knight of Phoebus, and that if all compared to him, it was Don Galler, Amidus of Gules' brother, because there was no emergency he couldn't cope with. He wasn't one of the pernicacies, nor was he such a blubber as his brother, and he was every bit his equal as far as courage was concerned.
In short, our Hidalgo was so absorbed in these books that his nights were spent reading from dusk till dawn, and his days from dawn till dusk, until the lack of sleep and the excess of reading withered his brain, and he went mad. Everything he read in his books took possession of his imagination: enchantments, fights, battles, challenges, wounds, sweet nothings, love affairs, storms, and impossible absurdities. The idea that this whole fabric of famous fabrications was real so established itself in his mind that no history in the world was truer for him.